What's good, y'all? This is Evan from DMV Sports Zone, back for the second day in a row to give you an update on all things DMV sports.
Sports Zone.
Chased down by Beal in the corner for three, gets fouled and hits.
Welcome to DC.
Walker tied him out.
You know where you're at, the USA Cup. You're taking it slightly, I'm taking it slightly. Now how you gon' act on you gon' be right back. When we gon' be right here, we gon' be right here. We ain't going nowhere. Welcome to DC. DC, the home of Chuck Brown. Oh, you don't know the sound? Well, let me break it down.
As always, we start with the Washington football team. Washington needed a statement win in the worst way, and they got it on Sunday, beating the Buccaneers 29-19. The win improves Washington to 3-6 on the season, third place in the NFC East, a game and a half behind Carolina for the last wildcard spot. Funny I mentioned them because this week, Washington heads to Carolina to take on the Panthers. The Panthers come in at 5-5. They're also third place in their division, the NFC South. But Carolina currently holds the 7th seed, so if the season ended today, the Panthers would play Arizona in the playoffs. Funny I mentioned them because Carolina's coming off a 34-10 win over Arizona. Oh, and by the way, this isn't the last time we're talking about Charlotte on this episode. And now we segue into the NBA, and we're going to talk about the Washington Wizards. Last time the Wizards took the court, no Beal, no problem. They beat Orlando 104-92. The win improves the Wizards to 9-3 on the season. They've won 4 in a row, and they currently sit at first place in the Eastern Conference. So here's the week ahead for Washington. For the Wizards, the week begins tonight when they return home to host the New Orleans Pelicans. The Pelicans come in at 2-12, 14th place in the Western Conference, ahead of only Houston. New Orleans is coming off a 112-101 win over the Grizzlies on Saturday. This is the first of two between the Wizards and the Pelicans. Last season, Washington and New Orleans split a pair with the home team winning both. On Wednesday, the Wizards head to Charlotte, see here they go again, to face the Hornets. The Hornets are currently 8-7, 8th place in the Eastern Conference. Charlotte's coming off a 106-102 win over the Warriors on Sunday. This is the first of 4 between the Wizards and the Hornets. Charlotte won 2 out of 3 against Washington last season. After this, quick turnaround for the Wizards, as on Thursday, they're in Miami taking on the Heat. The Heat are currently 8-5, 5th place in the Eastern Conference, and Miami's coming off a 111-105 win in Utah on Saturday. This is the first of 4 between the Wizards and the Heat. Miami won 2 out of 3 against Washington last season. And for the Wizards, the week concludes on Saturday when they return home to host the very same Miami Heat. Not much more needs to be said here other than this is the second of 4 between the Wizards and the Heat. But before I get off the topic of the Wizards, I just want to send a real quick prayer up for Bradley Beal and his family, because he's going through a lot right now, and I believe we as Wizards fans, we all need to come together and support him, be behind him, because basketball is going to be here whenever he's ready. Basketball is going to be here whenever he's ready, but now he needs time and he needs love. So Bradley Beal, we are all behind you. So now we move into hockey talk, and we're going to talk about the Washington Capitals. So for Caps fans, it's always a good day when you beat the Penguins, and that's what the Caps did on Sunday. They beat Pittsburgh 6-1. The win puts the Capitals at 9-2-4 on the season, 22 points. They've won 4 in a row, just like the Wizards, and they sit in a tie with Carolina for first in the Metropolitan Division, although the Canes hold the tiebreak, which puts the Caps in second. So here's the week ahead for Washington. For the Capitals, the week begins on Tuesday when they head to Anaheim to face the Ducks. The Ducks are currently 9-4-3, which is good for 21 points, and second place in the Pacific Division behind only Edmonton. Anaheim is coming off a 5-1 win over the Canucks on Sunday, and they've won 7 in a row. So this is a red-hot Ducks team that the Caps will have to face tomorrow. This is the first of 2 between the Capitals and the Ducks. They did not meet last season. Last time they met was 2019-20 when Washington won both meetings against Anaheim. After this, quick turnaround for the Capitals, as on Wednesday they head to LA to face the Kings. The Kings are currently 8-5-2, good for 18 points, and a tie with Vegas for 4th in the Pacific Division. But the Knights hold the tiebreak, which puts the Kings in 5th. LA is coming off a 3-2 overtime loss in Winnipeg on Saturday, but they still have an 8-game point streak. This is the first of 2 between the Capitals and the Kings. They did not meet last season. Last time they met was 2019-20 when Washington again won both meetings against LA. Saturday, the Capitals head to San Jose to face the Sharks. The Sharks are currently 7-6-1, good for 15 points, and 6th place in the Pacific Division. San Jose's coming off a 6-2 loss in Colorado on Saturday. They've lost 2 in a row. This is the first of 2 between the Capitals and the Sharks. They did not meet last season. Last time they met was 2019-20 when Washington, you guessed it, won both meetings against San Jose. And for the Capitals, the week and the West Coast road trip conclude on Sunday when they head to Seattle to face the Kraken. The Kraken are currently 4-10-1, good for 9 points and last place in the Pacific Division. Seattle's coming off a 4-2 loss against the Wild on Saturday. They've lost 4 in a row. This is the first of 2 between the Capitals and the Kraken and their first ever meeting. So for the first time on the ice, we get a showdown of Washington, D.C. versus Washington State. And now we segue into college football and we start with the Maryland Terrapins. So for Maryland, this week went about what you'd expect as they fell 40-21 at number 7 Michigan State. The loss drops the Terrapins to 5-5 on the season, 2-5 in the Big Ten, and 5th in the East Division. This next week doesn't get too much easier for the Terps. They're at home against the 6th-ranked Michigan Wolverines on Senior Day. Michigan comes in at 9-1, 6-1 in the Big Ten, 3rd in the East Division, and the Wolverines are coming off a 21-17 win at Penn State. Up next, let's talk about the Virginia Cavaliers. So Virginia didn't fare too much better this weekend. They fell 28-3 at the hands of number 9 Notre Dame. The loss drops the Cavaliers to 6-4 on the season, 4-2 in the ACC, 2nd in the Coastal Division behind only Pitt. And speaking of whom, this week for the Wahoos, they head to Pittsburgh to face the 21st ranked Pittsburgh Panthers. Pitt comes in at 8-2, 5-1 in the ACC, and as you've gathered by now, first place in the Coastal Division. The Panthers are coming off a 30-23 overtime win over North Carolina, so a huge matchup coming up this weekend in the Steel City. Up next, let's talk about the Virginia Tech Hokies. So Virginia Tech needed a win in the worst way this weekend, and they got it, pummeling Duke 48-17. The win improves the Hokies to 5-5 on the season, 3-3 in the ACC, and 4th place in the Coastal Division. Virginia Tech only needs one more win to become bowl eligible. The Hokies will have their first shot at that this weekend when they head to Miami. Yep, we're not done talking about Miami either, to face the Miami Hurricanes. Miami comes in at 5-5, 3-3 in the ACC, just like the Hokies, but the Canes are 3rd place in the Coastal Division. The Hurricanes are coming off a 31-28 loss at Florida State. And finally, let's talk about the Navy Midshipmen. You didn't hear too much about Navy this week, and that's because they were on a bye. So the Midshipmen remain at 2-7, 2-4 in the American Athletic Conference, and 8th place in the conference standings. Up next for the Mids, they're at home against the East Carolina Pirates. East Carolina comes in at 6-4, 4-2 in the American Athletic Conference, and 4th in the conference standings. Pirates are coming off a 30-29 overtime win at Memphis. And now we move into college basketball, and we'll start with the 20th ranked Maryland Terrapins. So for Maryland, a win's a win, right? And that's what the Terps are thinking now after they beat Vermont 68-57 on Saturday. The win improves the Terrapins to 3-0 on the season. And now let's look at this week for the Terps. For Maryland, the week begins on Wednesday when they host the George Mason Patriots. George Mason comes in with the same 3-0 record that Maryland has, and the Patriots are coming off a resounding 90-53 win over Morgan State on Saturday. And for Maryland, the week and the homestand conclude on Friday when they welcome in the Hofstra Pride. Hofstra comes in at 1-1. The Pride are coming off a 73-63 win at Duquesne on Saturday. And now let's talk about the Georgetown Hoyas. So Georgetown didn't exactly get off to the best footing on the season after they lost to Dartmouth 69-60 on Saturday. The loss starts the Hoyas out at 0-1. And now let's look at the week ahead for G-Town. Georgetown, the week begins on Tuesday with a crosstown showdown against the American Eagles. American comes in at 2-0, and the Eagles are coming off a 74-62 win at William & Mary on Friday. And for Georgetown, the week and the homestand conclude on Friday when they welcome in the Siena Saints. Siena comes in at 0-2, and the Saints are coming off an 83-63 loss against Delaware on Saturday. Up next, let's talk about the Virginia Cavaliers. So last time Virginia took the court, they got a much-needed win, beating in-state foe Radford 73-52. The win improves the Cavaliers to 1-1, but due to a loss earlier in the week against Navy, they have dropped out of the top 25. But here's the week ahead for the Wahoos. For Virginia, the week begins on Tuesday when they head to Houston to face the 15th ranked Houston Cougars. Houston comes in at 2-0, and the Cougars are coming off a 79-46 win over Rice on Friday. For Virginia, the week concludes on Friday when they return home to host the Coppin State Eagles. Coppin State comes in at 0-4, and the Eagles are coming off a bad 89-54 loss at number 24 UConn on Saturday. And we're going to wrap up this update with the Virginia Tech Hokies. So last time Virginia Tech took the court, they left no doubt, beating Navy 77-57 in the Veterans Classic on Friday. The win improves the Hokies to 2-0 on the season, and they just missed the top 25 this week. Now here's the week ahead for Virginia Tech. For Virginia Tech, the week begins tonight when they welcome in an in-state foe, the Radford Highlanders. Radford comes in at 1-1, and the Highlanders are coming off the 73-52 loss at number 25 Virginia on Friday that you heard about earlier. On Thursday, Virginia Tech will host the St. Francis of Pennsylvania Red Flash. St. Francis comes in at 0-1, and the Red Flash are coming off a 75-72 loss at George Washington on Tuesday. So this is a well-rested Red Flash team coming into Blacksburg on Thursday. And for Virginia Tech, the week concludes on Sunday when they welcome in the Merrimack Warriors. Merrimack comes in at 2-1, and the Warriors are coming off a low-scoring 48-35 loss at Rutgers on Saturday. Well, that's it for this update, but we still got a whole lot of content coming for you all week long here on DMV Sports Zone. Until next time, I'm Evan from DMV Sports Zone, signing off.